Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks so much for watching today. Let's talk some makeup updates. So I love trying new things, but I definitely know that first impressions are just that. What do I think the minute the thing touches my skin for the first time? And I know that we can't really go based on first impressions. It really comes down to how does a product work? How does a product wear? Now, what I want you to keep in mind is that these are from the perspective of a 48-year-old with combo skin. Most of my skin is normal. I have a little bit of dryness under the eyes during the winter time, a lot of oils in my T-zone, and I am really into skincare. So I wear quite a few layers of essence, hydrating toner, moisturizer, SPF, eye cream, eye serum. Like, I use all the things. So keep that in mind as we go through this. And also, I think if you've been watching my videos for a while, you kind of get what my makeup aesthetic is. All right, so first thing I wanted to share with you is this. This is the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin. I have the second shade in 2N. This is kind of a, all right, I like it. I'm just gonna tell you that right off the bat. I think it actually is a pretty good skin tone match for me. So this is what it looks like when it's blended in. This is described as more of a natural finish. A lot of newer foundations are using that descriptor. And what is a natural finish? At that point, it's like, okay, so skin-like, maybe not too dewy, too glowy, definitely not matte, somewhere in the middle, but nobody's using really the word satin anymore. I'm seeing it on lipsticks, but I'm not seeing it when it comes to foundation. The one thing that I have seen people complain about, and I guess if you're looking at it at just the right angle, you might see the occasional little fleck of, I don't know, like maybe a little pearl that goes through here. Some people are calling it glitter. I wouldn't say it's glitter. There might be some slight reflectivity to it, but I feel like when it's blended out, you're not really seeing anything shiny or glittery on the skin. Here's where I tell you, this is not the foundation that I'm reaching for on a work day. I work as a dental assistant, so I'm in a mask all day. My days are long. And this is not one of those that stands up well to in and out of a mask. I find that even when it's fully set with powder, I do get somewhere where the elastic loop goes around my ear, over the bridge of my nose, tip of my nose, and chin, all of the regular wear points that you would have if you're in and out of a mask. Now, you may not be wearing a mask anymore, but you may be holding your phone to your face. You may be, having your hair like in and out of your face, and just keep in mind that there is somewhere with this. If you end up giving lots of hugs and kisses, you might get some transfer off onto other things. I also found that when I was taking clothes off at the end of the day, if I hadn't washed my face first, this is more likely to get like a little bit of foundation right here where other ones aren't. So it is a little glowier, but it doesn't also last all day. I find that I get about 8 to 9 hours out of this, which is a work day. But if you put it on at like 7 in the morning and you're not done till 10 o'clock at night and you have errands to run, you have family dinner, and you have other things to do, you're gonna look like your foundation is wearing off in places. And I found for me, where my natural oils come through, like nose, right here in this area where I have a little bit more orange peel texture. My pores are a little bit larger. I produce a little bit more oil in that area. And I also find that this product, it looks good like here where I have very little going on, but my high kind of natural oils area is where it doesn't break down. It just thins out, and pretty soon, poof, she's gone. So I have very little coverage on my nose, a little bit less on my forehead and chin, but my nose and like this area, like this little rectangular area right here, it's all gone. So it's not bad, but I wouldn't say you have to run out and get this. I feel like it does look a little bit more skin-like than other products I have in my collection, but I need a little bit more wear out of it. I did talk about this in a favorite and fails for January. This is the Under Eye Brightener from Rare. Now, I think the formulation is ideal for someone who doesn't have really severe dark under eyes. I am using it today. It's not my preferred corrector. I still like the Beauty Pie Under Eye Genius. I think that is fantastic. It's the perfect level of emollient and camouflaging while not being too like hydrating, and it really does blank out things. This is definitely a much lighter coverage. This is my big beef with this, is this little metal applicator. And I don't know if you're noticing, there is a little bit of product like on the wand I find that there's more product on the wand, very little at the tip and hardly any here. And as you're swiping it on, I swipe it on like I would a doe foot. Instead of coming in like this, I'm swiping it this way and I'm getting, you know, very little. If I'm using just the metal roller, I have to kind of like use what's on the wand and then use this to spread it out. Okay, that's not the end of the world. This little metal tip is supposed to be cooling and massaging, but I don't think that it's on there that long to actually make a difference. I feel like it's just more frustration. So a doe foot I think would be better for application. But the one thing I do like about this is when you do take the time to blend it out, this is probably the best skin tone match for a little bit of under eye concealing and out the door. Like, I don't know about you, but there are days where I'm like, I don't really care. I need something to hydrate my lips. It could be tinted or untinted, and I need a little something to make me not look like I have been punched in the eye. This is great for that sort of day when I'm not really planning on wearing makeup. The only thing I notice is because I do wear a lot of skincare, and this is kind of a hydrating formula. See how it has a little bit of glow to it? It can settle in my creases. So this is one that I'm either perpetually tapping out throughout the day, or I'm best at like putting on a little bit of this and just a barest whisper of powder over the top, just to kind of set it in place. This is perfect if you like a slight perfecting and nobody's gonna know. This is a product that you can use that way, but I don't know that it's great enough and unique enough for me to need a replacement of this when I'm through. I also picked up this concealer from Rare. There are a few other Rare products in here. It's not like the full range of things I picked up recently, but you know what? This is actually pretty good. I was worried that I got the wrong shade. This is shade 110N. I think there is a slightly lighter shade, but she is pretty much on the far end of the really, really fair spectrum. I probably would have been better getting shade 30N, but it was not in stock anywhere. But this is very brightening. I have a few concealers that can be brightening like this. I am wearing this today. The one thing I'll tell you is I feel like it wants to be full coverage, and if you apply it just right the first time, it does pretty well. But if you feel like you need a little extra bit, this tends to, when you put an extra dot, like, okay, I put a first layer on and I'm going back, blended it out. I'm going back to put a little bit more, just like right here in the tear trough where I do have a lot more of that under eye darkness, and I start to pat it out. It can sometimes disturb the original layer that I put down first. So I have the best success with this when I put on the right amount, and instead of going straight to a sponge or a brush, I kind of use my finger to distribute it, and I'll have like a large swath of light underneath my eye, and then I take the time with my finger or with a damp sponge or with like a concealer brush. I like this one. This is the A506 from BK Beauty, to just kind of tap it out. And I find that it does really good that way. I like this concealer best, oddly enough, when I use my fingers. I feel like too much gets picked up this way. I feel like sometimes with this brush, although it's great with other ones, it can leave like little tiny bristle marks in this formula and it looks less seamless. So I like it best tapped out with my fingers. I feel like it gives good coverage, it lasts well all day, but this is one that I don't feel does well being built up over itself, especially under the eye. So the Rare Beauty Loose Setting Powder is one of those that I have kind of mixed feelings about. If I'm going to recommend a loose powder to you, she's good. She's good. I'm not saying it's a bad powder. I'm not saying don't get it. I like the price. The other thing that I like about this, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, is that it is slightly pink. I think it's easier to see in the cap here. It is kind of translucent, but it has a slightly pink lean, which can be really great for brightening the under eyes. If you have dark circles, this is great. Now the problem for me is this is not the most traceless under eye powder. I am using it today. Let me just take a quick look. It's been a little bit since I did my makeup. Okay, so it has completely set the Rare Beauty under eye brightener and the concealer, and I feel like I'm not getting anything settling into the creases, which is good. It doesn't make me look like a decade older. There are some powders like the Laura Mercier Loose Setting Powder. Under my eyes, it's a travesty. I can't do it. I'm 48, and that is made for a younger audience, or at least people who don't have the same texture under their eyes that I do. I don't have a ton of heavy wrinkles, but I do have a lot of fine lines. I'm almost 50, it's fine, but I want something that's not gonna draw attention to that. And I feel that there are other powders in my collection that are a little bit lighter weight, that are a little bit more traceless overall, but this actually does a good job. If you want something that is kind of translucent with a slightly pink brightening, this will do it, and it's a really great price. I feel like over the rest of my face, I feel like it does a good job. It keeps product from settling into my mobile forehead lines. I have a lot of movement there. Product sometimes can catch right here in my crow's feet and in some of these lines in through here. So this does a good job of setting my face. I prefer this for my face and not my eyes. My favorite types of powders are the ones that I can use indiscriminately anywhere. I think this is great for somebody who has less dynamic facial lines. I feel this is great for somebody who doesn't have really dry under eyes, or maybe just has a better application method than I do. It's not a bad setting powder, and at the price, I think it's actually a really good option at Sephora. Okay, let's finish talking about the last thing from Rare, and I'm in love. I have two of these. These are the Silky Touch highlights. Okay, so this is one that's new. I have another one. Where is she? The pink one. Oh, this one's called Mesmerize. This one I think is my favorite. This is the one I'm wearing today. I think they both work really well for my skin tone, being that I am on the fair range. Here is the one in Enlighten. This is the one in Mesmerize. They're beautiful. The one thing you must keep in mind with these, especially if you have more mature skin, is just to remember it's all about blending. I find that although like here is the pearly white one, here is the pink one. This one has a little bit of a cast, but I usually put it over the top of a blush and you really can't tell. This one sometimes can look a little too frosty if I'm using kind of a warm tone blush. I don't think it always works really well, but these are the best when you take a giant fluffy brush, a clean brush, and just buff over the top. If you want to add to that like a finishing powder, like a Hourglass Ambient Lighting powder, something that has a little bit of glow, but it's not highlighty, just something to kind of bring a little life to the face, that works really well. You could probably even use like a loose setting powder like this to kind of just blend it all together. I find that these can be very, very frosty, especially when you build them up. It can look more like a stripe like this. And on my 48-year-old skin, that's not attractive because I do like to hit right here, but you see all the texture I have when I smile. I do have those lines there, those dynamic facial lines, and this can call attention to it if it's not buffed in really well. I feel like if I do a good job of buffing it in with a finishing powder and hit it with a setting spray, it's beautiful. My 15-year-old daughter loves these. She has one in this shade. She's even fairer than I am. Loves it, but she says she uses it more as an eyeshadow than she does as a highlight. But yeah, these I think are beautiful and I think work well on a variety of different types of skin textures. I think that if you are like me, have more of those dynamic facial lines, just take the time to really buff it in and go over it with finishing powder and a setting spray and you'll be fine. All right, let's talk about this gorgeous but super expensive bronzing brick from Victoria Beckham. All right, kudos for making this a refillable. You can definitely, there's a little place here where you can grab a little metal tool, pull the pan out, get a refill for this, which is great because this is kind of an expensive product. And I like that this packaging is made to last. It's metallic, has a nice clasp, it has a little push button here to open it up, and it has a nice size mirror. So everything about this I like. I do like that we're getting kind of like a cooler contour shade and a light, almost a, I don't know, almost like a cafe au lait color of the bronzer. This is what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing both shades. I use the darker shade to kind of chisel out the cheeks, corner of the temples, definitely under here, and then a light wash of bronzer over the top. This is actually a really nice formula. Now, are there other formulas that work just as well that aren't as expensive? Yes, there are. Do I have another powder duo that has bronzer and contour in it that I like more? Yes. Is it bad? No. Am I upset? No. But I'll tell you, I feel like my favorite powder bronzer duo, contour and bronzer duo, is still the one from Wayne Goss. And I think it's because Wayne's formula has just a hint, the smallest hint of radiance. It's not highlighty, it's not glowy, it just looks like natural skin. And this one is matte. And I think that that's just right now my personal preference for what I like on my skin. So I do take a slightly glowing finishing powder over the whole cheek. And it's not just like right here, but like over the whole face. And I feel like it kind of brings a little bit less of that overall matte look that you get with a powder like this, that you get with a bronzer like this. But it is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. The one thing that's really good about this is that it's buildable. It is not too heavy. It is not too much when you first touch your brush in and then touch it to your skin. It's not, it blends beautifully, but you have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay the nearly $60 for this? I think it's a beautiful luxury product, but if you're not a luxury sort of person, don't spend the coins on this. Get something that's a little bit more affordable that's still gonna do the same sort of job. This is great. I like it, but I still like something else a little bit better. I will link for you the video where I did a full face of Rare, because we talked about a lot of Rare today. The Victoria Beckham. I also did a full face of Make Beauty. This is one product that I have really, really fallen in love with. This is a Skin Mimetic Microsuede blush. This is the shade Celestial Rose. Now, I have been addicted to these kind of nudie rose shades. This is such a beautiful color. I feel what is really great about this, not just this color, but this formula, is that it never really looks powdery. I don't know, because it's a matte blush. And I told you, I think that this isn't my favorite because it's matte. This, although it is a matte product, it does look very skin-like, especially if you're wearing a glowier base. This is one of those that when I put it on, I don't always feel like I need to go over it with a slightly glowy finishing powder. And I feel like sometimes I do that to take down the intensity of the blush. This one never gets to be too much. Or if I feel like the blush looks a little flat, I'll add just a little bit of dimension without needing to put on highlight. This is just beautiful. It's a really pretty shade. It's pink, but it has just a hint of like a neutral tan to it. It's so easy. It's so wearable. I also love that the packaging for this, like the Victoria Beckham, is replaceable. So you can get a new pan, put it right in here. I feel like this compact is built to last. I love that more brands are thinking about makeup sustainability and just selling us the refill. You can do that here. You can do that here. That to me is fabulous. So more of this. And isn't this compact like this, like almost like tomatoey red, almost orangey compact, just the best. I love it so much. I really like the compacts that Make has. The blush is smaller, bronzer is blue, their powder is silver, but they all have that same nice component and they're all refillable. So I really love that aspect of the sustainability, but this color and this formula is beautiful. 2023 is the year I have committed to discovering what primers work best for me. I have notoriously been one who never wears eyeshadow primer, who never wears primer on the face. I just put on my SPF and I'm like good to go. And the truth is, I feel like some primers do really make a difference. I did get a small size of the Power Primer, the Power Grip Primer from e.l.f. This is one of those that is kind of like a dupe for the, what is it, the Milk Hydro Grip. I've never tried that. I'll tell you, I really had just been like, primer, schmimer. But I realized that some of the problems that I have with product breaking up around my nose, with things settling into my expression lines, with makeup fading on a work day when I'm in and out of a mask, maybe if I was using a primer, things would work better. This is one that I have been trying. I'm a little disturbed by the fact that it's so tacky. Do you remember that Jennifer Coolidge commercial for the Super Bowl? Oh yeah, it sticks to everything. So it is definitely one of those products that like there is some tack to it and it does feel sticky, but I do feel like it does make a difference. I do feel like it is also good at holding on to whatever product I have down. I don't know that this is the best answer to my face priming needs, but it actually has been working really well. And I love that it's affordable and that it's drugstore. Let's talk about another affordable product that has really surprised me. It is this. This is the One and Done brow product from Uma Beauty by Sharon C. This is something that's available at Walmart. You can get it on the Uma website, but this is the more affordable line to Uma Beauty. So this is a dual-ended brow product. Now, my beef usually is pencils are not small enough and brow tints come with spoolies that are so big they might as well be mascara wands. And this is Perfect, perfect. Okay, so the pencil is so teeny tiny. You can get the smallest little hair-like strokes, very, very small. And then guess what? Look how small the other side is. Beautiful. It also has a stopper that pulls off enough so that when I'm going through, I don't feel like I have stoopy brows going on. That has been my beef. There are some products that, although the product itself is really good, when it comes out, there is so much left on the brush. As I'm going through, I end up with like tinted brow gel in places I never intended. This is just enough, not too much. I would rather go in for a second dip and keep going than to have to go through and, you know, like clean up all around. This one is really, really great. This doesn't actually come with a color name. It comes with a number, real small. I use the shade 04. And I was standing in the beauty aisle at Walmart looking through and trying to decide, and I had to pull my phone out. I would definitely recommend that. Pull your phone out and look at color swatches of this product, because I feel like the color swatches in images online are much more accurate than the little teeny tiny samples they have. Like they'll have like the little display, they'll have these all standing up in their little boxes like this. And then they have like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and then they have like a little squiggle like color swatch. No, they all look very orangey and yellow. Would not trust. The one thing that I like about this is that I'm able to fill in the gaps with the pencil and then turn around and brush my brows up, give them a little bit more volume, and there is enough hold in this that they stay put. There are a couple of places where I have rogue eyebrows that just kind of always are like really heavy or really long and they dip down, and that happens with almost every product, but I feel like this is a really easy and affordable. I feel like this is like my Goldilocks at the drugstore dual-ended, and guess what? I don't know if they're on sale or what, but I got this for like $4.98. 2 products in one for $5. Yes. I have always loved the Persona 24-hour waterproof eyeliner. This one is in bronze. This is one of those, I have the one in brown and I love. I like this shade in bronze. I'm wearing it today. It's a much softer look. This is one of those rare liners that I can put in my upper waterline and I don't get a ton of transfer to my lower. It stays beautifully. It is one of those pencils that you have to sharpen, but when you get it to a nice point, you can actually do like a little wing with it. I love that. I also like that I can use it like right at like shoved in between my lashes to blank out those little skin toned gaps, and then running it in my upper waterline. It stays really well and it makes my lashes look that much longer. I don't have any of those skin tone gaps like going back towards my eyeball. It makes my lashes look thicker. I prefer the brown one, but if you like kind of like a bronzy, softer look, this one's really pretty. I mean, it is metallic, but it's not too crazy. It's nice. It's nice to have it, but it's not my most reach for. The other one in brown, I can't find it right now. She's probably like about this tall. But this is a liner formula that I really like, works really well, and I tend to have watery eyes. My left eye is perpetually watering. This hangs through a like little session of like eye watering. This is great. I didn't think there was going to be another mascara that I liked as much as my Lancome Monsieur Big. Lancome Monsieur Big has been my favorite since 2017 when it came out. I remember when it came out. I remember getting a sample at Sephora. I remember falling in love with it and paying full price until it finally started going on sale. So now instead of paying the $27, I pay the $13.50 and I get it for half off during an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty or during a Macy's like 10-day beauty event, whatever their event is called. I find it there, or I'll buy it on Lancome when they're having a sale too for like $30. I always find a way to find that mascara at not the $27 price point because it's a lot. But this is one. This is the lash prototype from Make, and it gives me the most beautiful kind of heavy, thick, almost gunky, but not gunky lashes. Okay, so component feels really nice and heavy. This is what the wand looks like. And you can see that there's quite a bit of product on here, but as you're building up the layers, this is one where I'll do like, you know, like a good layer over here, I'll move over. And before this is completely set, I'll go back and I'm able to get thickness and length from it. Now, not all mascaras that I use on my upper do I like on my lower lashes. This one works really well. Remember, I wear a lot of eye serum, a lot of eye cream, plus hydrating under eye concealers. And this never transfers. I don't get any kind of like raccoon or gray smudging. This is beautiful. And this stays on until I take it off. I am really falling hard for tubing mascara, so it takes a lot for a traditional formula to really impress me. If you like a darker, truly black, and almost on the verge of too much, almost a gunky lash, you would love Lash Prototype. If you are a fan of the Lancome Assure Big that gives a lot of volume, that gives some length, but really just is like, here are my lashes, this does the same thing. These are the last things to talk about. These are the new lip products from LYS. So their new Speak Love Matte Lipstick comes in 7 shades. It comes in this really pretty rose gold packaging that has some faux leather on it. It comes in their traditional triangular packaging, and she's slimline. Ah, love, love, love. That is one swipe of this lipstick. This is the shade Desired. I wish the writing on here was a little bit bigger. It is so tiny, so tiny. I had to actually take a picture with my phone and then like zoom in, because either that or I'd have to get up and get my like readers. But okay, so this is a matte lipstick. I feel like there is just a hint of moisture and a little bit of shine. I feel like you can see a little bit of shine on my lips. I don't know if it's so much the color because there's no actual metallic to it, but it's not as matte as other products. I feel like the Lisa Eldridge True Velvets are more matte. The ones from Pat McGrath, the matte trans lipsticks, are more matte. The ones from Alani, the Fetish Mattes, are more matte. The new Soft Spoken Velvet Lip Creams from M are more matte. There are products that are more matte, but this is definitely not a glossy lipstick. This is really a lovely formula. I can't tell you how much I love the slimline packaging. I feel like I am like craving all of my lip products to come in this skinny little type of tube. It makes it so great for precise application. This is a really nice, very comfortable formula. This wears really well for about 6 hours. It works well through cups of coffee, through snacking. It kind of doesn't hold up as well through like a full meal. But I feel like there are very few lipsticks, in my opinion, that are a traditional kind of bullet lipstick that hold up well after a full meal. Usually you got to go and like touch up at least the center. This one is super comfortable. I like that about it. Now their accompanying lip pencil, this is the shade Driven, and look how much larger it's written right here. It's like, I can read that. I feel like maybe I didn't get the right shades to go together. This one leans a little bit more brown. This one leans just a hair more kind of rose, but I am using them in combo today. I find that I like this better with other shades, and I use a different color lip liner with this. And maybe I just didn't pick up the right combo, but I feel like they do work well together. They look like this. This liner, when I put it on my lips without anything else down, it can be a little, it tugs a little bit. Now, I like something that really glides, that has more of a gel-like feel. This really dries down and doesn't budge. And I feel like it's a little bit more, it tends to grab a little bit as I'm putting it on a completely bare lip. Now, what I have been doing is putting this down and then lining over the edge. And because I already have a little bit of moisture there, this just glides. It glides beautifully, and it doesn't end up, you know, it gives that definition. It holds everything in, but it doesn't end up making my lip feel dry and tight. The first time I tried this on, I put this down on a completely bare lip and I was like, ah, wow, really dry. And when I put this over the top, it felt a ton better. So I feel like you're getting more moisture from this, but this is gonna give you longevity. Is it my favorite pencil? No, it's $15. The lipstick is $20. I feel like I'm more likely to purchase this lipstick than I am to repurchase this pencil formula. It's not a bad formula. If you have one, like, don't kick it out of your collection, but this is not the one that I'm gonna go back and pay $15 for. I feel like there are other ones that I prefer the formula of, and they have a wider range of shades. Right now, I think there's only 6 or 7 of these, but this lipstick, she's so pretty. I kind of want the red. I don't need the red, but yeah, it's like on my mind, like, because because I like this formula and I like that really slim applicator. Thank you so much for watching today. I would love to know what sort of products you have been trying. Are they ones that have been out for a while and you finally got around to trying them? And I feel like that's true with the things from Make, with some of the products from Rare. Or are you going for things that are a little bit newer? I know this is kind of like a newer release. This is a newer release. So is the Makeup by Mario. I feel like there's a lot of really beautiful things out there, but what sort of things are catching your attention and what have been hits or potential misses for you? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.